So today I'm going to find some of the most dynamic poses I can to put Jordan Beaty's Scott Pilgrim rig to the ultimate test. I want to challenge this rig, so I want lots of foreshortening, lots of nice S curves and C curves. Kind of want to do like a real person reference, you know. I don't want to have it already drawn for me. That could work. Maybe something like this. I like that S curve. How about these? These look nice. Right, I like this pose. Nice C curve. This will be tough to do because of all the foreshortening and stuff. Okay, let's choose this and let's jump into Toon Boom. So we have our first pose up here. We're not going to trace over it. We're just going to use it as a reference. Before we get into our drawovers, anyone who knows me knows I like to do that. We're just going to try and move our rig roughly in that position. Looking good. So now we can go in, add a draw over layer on top of everything. So I'm going to look at this pose and try and match my character to it more. So I want to get that nice curve and see this negative space there. I want to make sure I get that. And the reason I pose my rig before like this is to kind of keep the proportions correct. So our first drawover is done, and now we're gonna go in and match our drawovers even more. Focusing on things like foreshortening. We're gonna use the deformers a little more to kind of get the nice C curves. Drop this down. Let's see how these feet work. So we can kind of, I'm guessing, foreshorten them this way. So I want to see the bottom of the foot. A nice way to rig feet, wow. You know? One of the things I hate is just drawing swaps for feet. Because you never get the angle you need, and when you do, animating it can be a nightmare. But with this, I think this is a great way to do it. This hand, let's use this one. Point the arm up a little bit. Focus on this kind of rhythm. I like that. So let's give him a shoulder bump there. Right, give some curves, straights and curves. So if we scroll back, we're already getting a way nicer shape. We'll have some of the hair floating back, like he's in motion. Nice. And now for the hardest part is this foreshortened arm. There is sort of in front of the face. So we'll bring this here as well, scale that up, rotate them like this, a little too much. Alrighty guys, that's our first pass. It's looking great. So this is what we had before. Robotic looks like a rig. Here, he's looking more like a person. So usually 2 drawovers is the way to go, because now I can kind of get in there and be very precise with my lines because everything is already in place. So now I'm kind of just going in, adding some finishing touches to clean up my lines. I'm following the lines of the rig. I'm not being loose at all. I'm gonna speed this part up because there's really nothing to it. We're just gonna match the lines to our drawovers. Is the first pose done. So this is what we started with. This is what we ended with. That looks great. Look at that, guys. Let's move on to the next one. This is probably going to be the hardest pose to get. Look at this foreshortening. That is going to be tough to do, but let's get started. And we'll just do the same steps. So if I were to just scale this with the pegs, it kind of messes up the line thickness. Right, so I'm gonna grab these pegs, click this, and scale it down by the deformers. Right, it just keeps that line integrity. So already that is a great pose. We're matching this really well. It's just the head. Drop the head. Let's kind of tilt the features up, right? So it kind of looks like he's looking up. We go like this. That pose is working. We're gonna go in, tighten up these lines. I can even put my smoothing to 25 to really make those lines smooth. We're just gonna make sure that all the lines are nice and exactly how we want them. There, I like this kind of perspective here. Just like that. We'll go like that. Maybe what we could do, last thing, just kind of rough. I know I said not to do this, but let's see what happens if we scale up the feet. Just to kind of push that perspective even more. Maybe even the whole lower body. We'll scale up the lower body and scale down the upper body. Nice, I'm liking that a lot better. Scaled up the lower body, scaled down the upper body, and we're really pushing that perspective. So we got 1, nice, pretty simple pose. 2, getting a little more dynamic, that looks great. Last pose, let's get this one done. I think the tricky part is gonna be getting this leg to look right, but everything else should be pretty straightforward. We can kind of speed up these steps because we already know them, so we can do them a lot faster. I'm happy with that. So drawovers are done. Now we go in, we refine those lines. Okay, so the reveal, we have our drawover. We're going to delete it in 3, 2, 1. Nice. We gotta fix a few parts here. Nice, so I say that is done. Look at that. So we matched these 3 poses, 1, 2, 3. Let's see how close we came. It's looking really nice, right? We got the underside of the feet. We got the nice expression and the foreshortened arm. This guy, I think this is probably my favorite one. The way the feet come forward and we got that, the way it looks like this is behind the chest. A nice perspective here. And then this one was kind of an easy one, right? He's just falling, but lots of movement and a very nice S-curve through the body. Final thoughts on this rig. I really liked working with it. Although I didn't really use the handles or the master controllers that much, everything was pretty accessible, and most importantly, it was super responsive, so it wasn't lagging. The limbs felt nice to move. It was really enjoyable to animate and pose these characters in these dynamic poses. This exercise is great because it kind of mixes gesture drawing with posing practice with rigs. You're kind of hitting 3 areas at once. I really recommend if you're just starting on a show at a studio, you know, take some time with the new rigs in the show and kind of pose them out on your own, do these kind of exercises to get more comfortable with posing and working in the rig. That's it for now. We're probably going to take this guy and do a few animation tests next, so stay tuned for that. Also doing live rigging sessions every Friday and live animation sessions every other Sunday. There's a schedule for that in our Discord. Check that out, stay on top of it, and join us for our live streams. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see everybody in the next video.